Listen up.
It's the number one voice of the tri-state. I'm number one. It's Cooking Up 215. So let the show begin.
Turn me up.
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth.
It's your girl Amber Grand.
And this is Cooking Up 215, where we get you up close and personal with your favorite artists, entrepreneurs, shakers, and move makers. And today we have a very special guest, Miss Mandy Mahem. How you doing, Mandy?
Welcome.
Oh, I'm so good.
Listen, you in Philly.
I know.
Coming all the way from LA.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. You are outside.
I'm
you like
so
living a
happy to
whole
be
different
outside.
life.
Outside of my house.
Outside your house, on a whole different side of the country, all the above. So you've been busy.
Yeah.
You've been busy a long time though. Like you're not new to getting busy. You've been outside your whole life pretty much.
Yeah.
You've done TV.
Yes.
You've been rapping for a long time. Used to actually be a cheerleader.
Stop.
Wow.
How did you know that?
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
The championships with that too, right?
Yeah. Come on.
Like international. You did like cheerleading lectures in China.
I did.
That's
That is so crazy.
You guys read things on the internet about me.
The internet is a powerful tool if you use it right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but so let's talk about that. Cheerleading. How did you get into cheerleading?
Well, I got pregnant.
And that put you into
That
cheerleading?
put me into cheerleading.
Normally cheerleading is the cause of
the pregnancy. Yeah, no, I like to
The
do
other
things
way
backwards.
around.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm kind of Benjamin Button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got pregnant at 16. Sorry, Mom, I'm about to throw you under the bus. I called my mother and said, I'm pregnant. And she said, you've ruined your life. You will never be able to do anything that you are destined to do. And I was like, I'll show you. I'm going to be a cheerleader. So that was what led me back to high school, was my desire to be a cheerleader. It was the one thing I could think of that I would regret not doing as a teenager, was to be a cheerleader. So I had my son, I went back to high school to be a cheerleader, and then went to university to continue my cheerleading career. I also studied a bunch of stuff, but because I wanted to cheer. Yeah, it was a great motivator to prove my mother wrong and wear a bow.
Cool.
Yeah. So, talk about the China thing. How did you end up in China going to lectures, 2011?
How did I end up there? That is a really good question. Oh, I was manufacturing uniforms in China, cheerleading uniforms,
Oh, wow.
and selling them all over the U.S. and Canada and Europe.
So, during that time,
Yeah.
you also won a hip-hop karaoke award in Toronto in 2010.
I did. I won 3 in a row,
So-
back to back to back.
How long has hip-hop been a part of your life?
I don't know. I feel like the first song I really remember hearing maybe was The Message. I was born in 75, and I think that might have come out before I was born, so I have no clue. It just
know
was
what The Message
around.
is.
You don't know what The Message is?
No, who's it?
Don't push me, cause I'm
well,
close
yeah.
to the edge.
I'm
I'm trying
trying
not to lose my head.
I think that's everybody's first hip hop song. That's probably my first rap
Right.
song I know of. Yeah,
That's one of the
yeah, I
So,
know that one
funny
by her. I never
story.
knew the name of it though.
There's a woman named Enid. A shout out to Enid if she's watching on my TikTok right now. Enid lives in Enid, Oklahoma. I believe.
And that's her name.
It's her
Oh,
TikTok
is it?
name.
Okay, all right. Gotcha.
I believe she's in her 60s, and she's in my Discord channel, and we had a chat one night. I do these voice chats every month or so, and she said, I never listened to hip hop until I watched your lives, and then I started researching it, and I found this song called The Message, and it's so good. And she started reciting the lyrics to me. I was like, my job is done.
I know that's right.
Putting people on.
Putting people onto it.
Yeah. So it was always there, but I remember Public Enemy was formative for me for sure. 89 was a formative year in music. And I think I heard somewhere something when you're around 12, 13, that music is the music that you compare everything else to for the rest of
It's
your
the
life.
soundtrack for your life.
Yeah. So I guess I was 12, 85, 86, 87. Is around when I was 13. So 87 to 89, 13 to 15-ish was amazing. LL, Public Enemy. I didn't like the Beastie
Not allowed to say
My
that out loud.
internalized white person hatred. I don't know like what it was, but like, I don't know. I thought they were making fun of hip hop, and I was like, I don't want you to make fun of it. But you know, they weren't.
So do people ever like kind of criticize you or feel like
Yes,
you're
I was just gonna say that's what people think that I'm doing. So.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part.
That's
Like
what I get.
doing the research and like kind of looking and learning.
Oh, did you read my
this
comments?
was part of your life. I didn't read your
Oh,
comments.
good.
No, why you got crazy comments?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but this is like it's you. This is part of you. Growing
Yeah.
up, you always been into hip hop and rap and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, growing up in a city like Toronto too, I was exposed to everything. So when, you know, like the early days of hip hop or going to clubs at that time, you had house music, soca, reggae, dance hall, and hip hop and hip house, and like all the music, all the genres were still just figuring out what they
What
were.
they really were,
So they
yeah.
weren't. It wasn't separated at a party in the same way as it is
Especially
now.
hip hop. And you know what I just learned? Toronto is really like right up the street from Pennsylvania. Like it's 5 hours from Pittsburgh, like 5 and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time we speak of like, oh, Drake's from Toronto, I always feel like it's the other side of the world. Or it's like all the way, way up there.
Yeah.
It's like a drive. You
Yeah.
can drive there from here.
Yeah.
So it's not far from New York.
I once went to New York to go to Shelter, the house, Timmy Regisford's club. It was a house, soulful house club. And I drove there, went to that party, and drove home.
Yeah. So
Like
people
7
act like
hours.
Toronto
It's
is
like
so far. Like it's this.
Yeah.
You from Toronto?
Yeah.
They say like it's crazy. Now it's like closer than going to like Virginia for us, maybe a little bit. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's super wild. Oh, so yeah, so y'all probably really were getting a nice wave of hip hop, straight being next door to New York.
Yeah, and we
like that.
had Detroit too, so the house music scene was coming in, and New York, and yeah, we had a lot, and also we would get like TV channels from like Buffalo, so yeah, we got the Sesame Street Buffalo vibes.
So let's talk about your acting. You were on a show called Mother About a Housewife.
Yes.
Turn rapper.
Yeah.
Yes. So she rages. She lives in her suburban life, and when she rages, she transforms into this angry, rapping lady.
So was this about you? Was this?
I mean, yeah.
It was an
I
extension
was
of
never
you?
married, so that was my fantasy rage. As I feel like across all of my work, I'm interested in hyper feminine expression in a hyper masculine environment. So like hip hop is a hyper masculine environment,
Right.
and the idea of a suburban housewife is a hyper feminine expression.
Right.
So even cheerleading was a hyper feminine expression in a hyper masculine environment, the sports environment.
football and everything like
yeah.
that, yeah.
So the question I'm asking in all of my work is like, why? What does it look like to express the feminine outside of the male gaze? So when you're not in a hyper masculine environment, what we think of as feminine, have we created this because of the patriarchy and this masculine energy, or is this how women actually want to express? I'm interested. I don't know, but I'm interested in exploring that. So like the idea of the cheerleader, did that come from, how did it evolve from being in this hypermasculine environment? Cheerleaders were originally men, you know?
Really?
And, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
George Bush was a cheerleader.
Oh.
And then during the Second
wild.
World War, when the men all went off to war, the women took over the cheerleading job, and then things were never the same again for cheerleading. So, you know, in hip hop, it's been a hyper masculine environment, and then the female expression within hip hop. Like I know that I hypersexualize partly because of the trauma of growing up of listening to hip hop that was so misogynist, and so I'm like, fuck you, like it's
like payback a little bit, yeah.
I'm trying to work it out. Like I don't know. There's some payback
Yeah.
for sure. Not that anyone. Well, I guess maybe they're listening now. I like wrote a diss against Eminem. I don't know how long ago.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, that shady XV cipher that he did. I guess whenever that was. I don't know how long ago it was. But I did a response video. I was like so mad. I'm like, he's never gonna see this, but maybe he has now.
You might have.
At this point.
I'm scared.
Yeah, you got like 9.9 million views on that other video. You
I
might have
know.
went through. You might have checked you out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice addition to Aftermath, Shady Aftermath.
I'm open.
What? So let's talk about it. All right. What is your goal when it comes to making music and rapping? Like, where do you see yourself? Where are you trying to reach to?
I want to go on tour with Madonna. Call me.
Call me Madonna.
Yeah, like rap is a way that I express a very specific conversation I'm having with myself as an artist. So that the misogyny, the hyper feminine expression, the sexuality, the sexual trauma, like all of the experiences that I've had in my life as a woman comes out in hip hop. Because it helps, it was part of it. Right? That was the voice of men for me. And dance hall, like, you know, and then, you know, like neo soul and I had my whole neo soul. Yeah.
Definitely love
Jill
neo
Scott
soul.
is my favorite artist of all time.
Okay.
I like India Arie on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like Jill Scott too, but when it comes to like neo soul, India Arie is like she's everything.
She's
like,
mine too.
she
Like,
carries.
Really?
She carries.
I like Jill Scott too, though.
Yeah, Jill Scott is dope. You know, ain't nothing like Penny with a hole in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She got some great work, but
does.
India is like
Interesting.
when she hit that thing is on point. Every one of them. She is a great talent. She's good.
I think Jill for me is the storytelling aspect.
You could picture it like
She
the
does.
grits and eggs in the morning. You seen that whole thing like in your head.
Yeah,
That's
vowels
true.
loose like collard greens, or loose after collard greens. Why am I always talking about shit? I don't know.
I started it. My bad.
No, it's fine. Gemini.
Yeah, the Gemini,
Yeah.
right?
But I avoided your question. So I love being in front of a crowd, like that cheerleading. I spent so much time rhyming words at drunk people. It's like the same as a hip hop show. You know, vaginas in the air. It's like throw your team signal up. It's sports and hip hop are very similar. Cheerleading.
They
and
are
hip-hop very
synonymous, especially like after social media. All the rappers want to be ball players. The ball players want to be rappers.
Yeah, totally.
It's all the same thing at the end of the day. Entertainment.
Yeah. So that, and I'm a visual storyteller too. So Mother was created because it was a place where I could write, I could make music, I could act, I could do like interesting visual. It's very surrealist. There's like, we're playing with ideas. Like the first episode is called My Badge is the Truth. And it takes place inside of my vaginal canal.
Oh, wow.
The episode?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We like built a whole interior of a vagina on a
On the
soundstage.
set.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then my husband comes in a sperm costume and I'm like, get out of here. You've done enough damage. So, you know, it's just I want to create containers where all these ways that I like to play can live in the same space.
Right.
I did not see this coming. As much as I've done all these things in my life, I had let go of hip hop. I was like, I mean, come on.
You were just.
Come on.
It's too late now. Living
It's
life
too
and
late.
just moved on.
It's too late. You know, and I just felt like the timing was bad. I didn't know, am I appropriating? Am I hurting people? I don't want to disrespect the culture. It means so much to me. I didn't know what to do. So like after my shows, I had two shows. That one and Rapping with Actors was a talk show.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Yeah. And I just like after the political shifts and everything I just didn't know. And I thought I'm gonna shut up for a while. And I'm gonna focus on acting and read and learn some shit and you know. And then
You're a book hoarder, right? Like you love.
I'm a
reading.
book hoarder.
Yeah.
I have little piles of books all over the world.
Yeah, that's wild.
I go to a new
Donald
city.
Walsh. Is your
Neil Donald
favorite?
Walsh?
Neil Donald Walsh.
Is that your
Is he
favorite
your
author?
He's not my favorite author, but I have
No?
read him.
Okay. See? Sometimes it's a little.
Do you have a camera in my house? Oh wait, I always have a camera in my house. That's what's happening. Yeah, Conversations with God series. Yeah, there's a couple really good things from the '90s. Actually, I think is when they were written. Those books. There's one quote I can think of very specifically from that, and it is, Oh no, I forgot. Never mind.
I didn't
It'll
want
come back to you.
Yeah, I didn't want to go over what you were saying about like misappropriating and like disrespecting the culture. I'm like I'm such like a open-minded person. I think we live in a society right now where everybody's too sensitive, and I think the best way to move forward, period, is by like taking off all the regulations, like just removing all the laws and everything. Like everybody act like certain people can do this, certain people can do that. I don't think the more you do that, the more you separate people. I think what you're doing is great. I think that's what more people should do. If it resonates with you, go with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're happy in it and it's your true self, that's what you should be allowed to do. There should be no judgment or anything like that. I think it helps push everything forward, if anything. You know what I mean? So I think that it's bravery, period, to be able to even step up and like go live your life full hip hop and full raunchy. Like you just you let it go.
Yeah.
And I seen like you had like a breakdown in like 2019 about going gray. And what was that about? Because I love your look. I think you look beautiful. You look wonderful. It looks great on you. So what was that about?
What was that about?
Yeah, like why did you feel such a...
Man, being an actor is very challenging in terms of your relationship with yourself because your image becomes a commodity and you're literally like reduced to 3 or 4 lines. So you're this age range, you're the girl next door, you're a grandma, you're whatever the thing is, quirky. My range in acting is quirky to bipolar. That's my sweet spot. Also in life. You know, so you think you can't do anything. Your face is your calling card, so it's hard to change it. And you all know the situation with women as they age in Hollywood and the way that you're sort of treated and you kind of put out to pasture. So I felt this like tension forming in my body. Like I have to hold it up all the time and keep my, shit together. And I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. I was having to dye my hair every 2 weeks and spray shit on my scalp and it was peeling off and it was just like unhealthy, toxic shit on my head every 2 weeks, and I was miserable, and I wanted to bear witness to my own life. Like I get to do this once. And I started going gray at 30 and I just dyed my hair because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. Oh, you just dye your hair. That's what you do when it gets too gray.
Right, once it get gray, then you go red.
Yeah. So I went red.
Yeah,
and it was fun for a while and it looked great for a while, but it just got to be exhausting. And so I started letting it go gray. I wish I'd known the pandemic was coming because I would have waited,
to decide to go gray?
Well, because then you're just sitting at home and your hair's growing out. I was out in the world with this like little bit of gray and red, and like everyone was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need money?" Like, yeah, I do, but also no, I'm doing this on purpose. But I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about my relationship with social media and my relationship with my own image and how much I had been relying on my looks in my life. I actually didn't think I was a woman who was like focused on my looks. Yeah, but that's privilege, I was a hot chick and got a lot of free stuff.
Right.
And I still do. It didn't work.
I got a little more now.
Now there's different kinds of freaks, but
that's hilarious.
fiending for the silver cooch.
The silver cooch. It's gonna be called the golden cooch after your rap career pop off.
Like golden girls,
Yeah,
I like it.
Cooch. But so you went gray. You had to break down, and you freed yourself. What was your first response from people once you full on like a
went gray?
Yeah.
Man, similar to kind of what's happening here, a lot of the pushback I get around aging comes from women because there's just so much pressure on us to
When you say pushback, explain, please.
Like comments like, oh no, you look better with red hair, or why are you doing that, you know, with the hair. And then here, the comments that I get from women, not all of them, obviously, but the ones that want to talk shit are like, why are you doing, you're a disgrace, you're acting like a child, stop it.
Wow.
Yeah.
People are crazy.
People are crazy.
So it's more women than men that typically.
Yes, men
kinda
have
judge you for
different
that.
things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men are crazy.
Men are also crazy. Women don't send me pictures of their vaginas. Men send me lots of pictures of their penises.
Oh, wow.
A lot.
I figured second half we're going to have to talk about them DMs because I'm almost certain that given
they crazy.
the things you say that they are.
Oh my
They
God.
are in there. We're going to save all that good stuff
Okay.
for the
Round
second
two.
half. Yeah, right now we just getting to know you a little bit more, you know. And so, what was your first rap on Instagram? Like when was that?
November
Or
1st.
TikTok?
November
November
1st
1st?
on TikTok, yeah.
Wow.
I had an audition come in that day for a retirement home commercial, because I do a lot of commercials. And my agent sent me an email immediately. She was like, okay, it's a really cool retirement home. Like, they let people in as young as 50. You don't have to do it, though. And I was like, it's fine. I'll do it, you know. I give up. That's like how I felt. And I had just done, no offense to the sleep apnea commercial that's playing everywhere right now, but like, fuck me.
You're in the commercial?
Yes,
The
I
sleep
played
apnea
twins with sleep apnea.
Oh, wow.
And I love the guys who played my husbands, but they were both in their mid-60s. So, you know, my range is 35 to 75 now because of my
Pushing
hair.
it
Like,
out
they just
there,
have
yeah.
no idea what to do with me. They'll call me in and be like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
I have a young energy, but I look like 70, and then my face, like,
Yeah,
it's
you're
just
still young in the
confusing.
face. You're very young in the face. Even I feel like even now hair color range so wildly. Like you got females that go gray. Like you go gray.
Or people
You know what I mean?
wear the gray weave. They want that color.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
However, you do become invisible. Like, I noticed a shift. So when I had red hair, it was all the time. Just like somebody had something to say, eyeballs, like whatever. I was fuckable with red hair. Now, they see the gray and perhaps ignore me. Like, they don't notice me so much, which is nice. It's nicer.
To be able to go through the streets without being handled all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like I think I'm cool for that reason, but like, because it was a lot. It was a lot of energy and exhausting, and for many years, and just fucking exhausting. Yeah. I have a song about it that I'm doing at my show at Kung Fu Necktie tomorrow night. Called I'm Not Here for Your Entertainment. That's about one particular person who yelled at me from across the street, nice ass. And I was like, whatever. I just ignored him and kept walking. And then he goes, bitch. And I was like, wait, but like 3 seconds ago.
You was all hollering at me.
And then 3 weeks later, another guy walked up and he was like, where are you guys going? Let's go to the bar. You know, me and a friend of mine. My friend is American, so she was like hiding, you know, like she knows how to protect herself.
She knows how to do
I'm
this.
Canadian. And I was like, you're in my safety circle. And he said, what? And I was like, you're in my safety circle. And then he spit in my face. And I was like,
What?
Oh,
yes.
no. Oh, no.
And ran away.
Oh, no.
Are you serious?
Come on. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Was this before Instagram? Like this just some random?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So the song is called I'm Not Here for Your Entertainment. Basically, like, I'm not here to smile. I'm not here to speak to you. And that's when we get into the DMs, we can talk about that more too. But yeah,
That's wild.
entitlement.
So before we go to the second, I was asking you about your first song. What was the reaction you got off the first?
Oh, the first
freestyle
live?
you dropped? Yeah.
So I sat there for 20 minutes talking about nose chlamydia. before I started rapping.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing. Apparently, it might be connected to Alzheimer's. I don't know. I found this.
Nose chlamydia.
Nose chlamydia. I was like, guys, I'm really nervous to be live. Here we are again live. I'm really nervous to be live. We can talk about nose chlamydia, or I can rap. And they're like, what? Rap.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what I did. I think I was just like, give me a beat. And they were like Chameleonaire, like all these like trap beats or like recent stuff that I didn't know. And then I would take like old lyrics that I did and mash them up. And I think the video of me, the one that Chris Brown shared, the Candy Coated Man Trap freestyle, the Amelie freestyle that I did, I think that was one of my first lives. It might have been my second or third one that I pulled that from. So the response, there was 20,000 people that watched that night.
That's cool.
I've had nights where it's been like 150,000
Wow.
in like an hour.
They love you.
I mean, there's something happening.
They're listening.
Some of them love me. Some of them do not. That's clear.
I think even the ones that act like they don't, they love you. Because you still got to watch.
Confused that
Yeah.
much,
Yeah, it's confused.
Yeah. You still got to watch and take time out today. So you must like something over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
And they just don't love you yet.
Yeah.
They're gonna love
they
you.
waiting to find that thing that just pushes
Gets
them
them
over the other
sold,
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
I so hated you at first, but I love you now. You know, people be like that.
Yeah.
And they be watching the whole
Oh,
time. Like,
yeah.
You were hating me, but you were watching.
That's
all
yeah.
That's cool. That's nice. But yeah, we about to get into this food. You hungry?
Oh yeah.
All right. Listen, you ready, Am?
I'm starving.
Listen. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Smooth.
It's immigrant.
We got Mandy Mahem in the building. Cooking up 2 and 5, and we'll be right back. Let's go.
It's our favorite part of the show.
That's your favorite.
Yes, sir. Ah, chef, what you got cooking?
You already know.
Listen, y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, cooking up 2 and 5, and it is my favorite part of the show. It is time to get into that food. As usual, we got my girl Chef Q in the building. What's up, Chef Q?
I'm good. Yourself? How
Listen.
you feeling today?
You know, it's only right. You know, we got Mandy Mahem in the building, so we had to call a professional to come through, handle business as she always does. Q, let them know what you got for me today.
All right, so today we had to take it a different route, y'all. So today we got some braised kale with some seared cod, a tomato paste coconut lemon beurre blanc, and a fresh mango sauce on top. It's not getting no better than this. Like,
She pulled the beurre blanc out. I don't even know what the beurre blanc is. I know today. You know what I'm saying? Beurre blanc me from now on. You understand me? If you're not beurre blancing me, I'm not coming. You don't got the beurre blanc, it's not for me. I'm on a different color, but now, you know, call me Smooth Wah. Smooth Wah. You know what I'm saying? The Wah to the end. You know, as usual, tell her where they can find you, how they can get themselves some beurre blanc and step their game up too.
all right, you can step your game up by normalizing your luxury eating. Hit me up on Instagram at chefq__ cutthroat or Unique Creations of Catering on Instagram.
Listen, man, give my girl Chef Q. She carries it every time. You already know who it is. Your boy Smooth, cooking up 2 and 5. Let's get back to the show. Let's go. Yeah, my girl Chef Q Cutthroat. She carries it. She did something special for us. I had the name down. It's going down. We did too much talking. It was something like Blanc, something. Kurt Blanc, something.
Okay.
I messed it up. It's done. It's done, Q. My bad. But
Poisson.
it was,
Poisson blanc.
That how you say it?
It's whitefish. En
okay.
français. Okay,
look,
I'm
see.
Canadian, okay?
There you go. She got us. She gonna carry it for us. But listen, we about to get into this food. It's time. We're gonna pick up this fork, get into it, see what it tastes like. You know what I'm saying? My taste buds are screaming right now. I'm trying to see what this mango on top of this fish though.
What's the sauce?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
What is it?
Q, what is it, Q? What is it called?
It's a tomato lemon beurre blanc.
Beurre blanc. There we go. Beurre blanc.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what this is?
That's
On top
good.
of mango?
That's the sauce. Mm-hmm.
And the green stuff?
That's kale.
I've heard of that. Okay.
That's good.
Good.
I feel like I'm eating so healthy, but yet so much taste and flavor.
Yeah, it's like so savory.
So much flavor.
I'm dipping my salmon in the sauce to see what it's
Mhm.
in for.
That girl cute, don't play. Oh yeah, it's cod, right? All right, let me see what this sauce here for. Get all in the sauce a little
Really
bit.
good.
Oh, wait, I'm so late to the mango
The
party.
blah.
There's mango in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that sauce.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I just love being fed.
That's good.
It's my happy place.
That's good.
Definitely like one of the.
It's so many
Same.
flavors and textures in there all at the same time. It's like a party going on. I was going to say in my mouth, but I am not.
Right. That's pause.
Yeah, this is good though. It's real good. So, Chef Q, y'all better get with him.
Yeah, show me playing. Put this together nice.
What's your Instagram account again?
Chef Q _ Cutthroat. CUTTHROAT.
Chef Q _ Cutthroat.
Yep. But all right. So before we left, we were talking about getting into those DMs. It's DM time. This is where we had fun at. Second half, we just laid back, let our hair down,
It was the
eat some
side
food,
for
and have
me.
a ball.
Let's play DM charades.
DM charades.
I'll show you some videos.
I don't
That
know
I
if I want
got.
to see any videos
I'll
and
watch
no
them.
DM. Yeah, they like some X and X type joints.
Here's a video I got.
What is that?
This was a towel.
No.
Oh!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A video.
He was holding the towel up.
Yep.
Full stiffy.
Right.
That's crazy. In your
Who
DM.
thinks
In
of
my
that?
DM.
Like, what would make a man think that that's some sexy shit that I would want to see? Like,
You would wonder what made the other one think of this.
not
Swinging
the
it around?
yeah.
what they
Like
call
a
it, motorboat.
Yeah.
Motorboat.
A helicopter.
I don't know. I didn't answer.
That's wild.
The worst DM I ever got was pre all this. I mean, there was a lot of dick pics. There was one particular dick pic that was quite upsetting, and I had like flashbacks of it. I mean, there's a few. I took a bunch. P.S. Motherfuckers. I took your DMs and I put them in my Discord channel so everyone could look at them and talk about the veins and the fucking scars and all the shit you have going on. So don't think that I'm the only one that had to suffer through that shit. A.
Not the dick scars.
Two.
Going viral.
There was one that was like, he was just like on the bed, like, and I'm like, what?
Legs cocked wide
Why?
open.
I like look at my own bed and see like flashes of this guy.
She got PTSD.
I did, for real. It was fucked up. Okay, but the worst DM I ever got was before I started this thing, but I was still Mandy Mahem because I've been Mandy Mahem for a while. See what happens when you feed me? I have life now.
There you go. Let's see.
Okay, so there's a man. Picture this. The frame is here. Okay, I see this face of quite an attractive face. No offense, we are all God's children, but this person had hair in places you should not have hair. So he was right up close to the frame, and then he turns around and walks back. He's wearing a t-shirt, and he goes to the back of the room, and as he walks back, you see there's no pants on him. There's a black leather couch at the back of the room. He proceeds to get on the couch.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did! In this position, grab his butt cheek and start twerking and showing me the inside of his asshole. I know! I was like, what the actual fuck is happening? I was like, how do I report that? Like, snake
my
and stuff. I
God.
couldn't. I didn't even know what to press. I was so fucked up. I know! And I was like, why did I get this video? And it said, are you the TS Mandy Mahem? This is why you Google yourself before you choose a rap name.
Oh shit.
You're transsexual.
Yes, which is fine. I mean, do your thing, but don't let's clarify what DMs
the right
we want.
person. Yeah, make sure you're in the right inbox before you start sending your whole ass.
I saw the
You know what I mean?
inside of that man's butthole.
You gave him a whole colostomy, colonic, and all that shit.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot happening.
So mad.
Wow.
It was.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The reenactment took me out.
It was like the slow reveal: the face, the T-shirt, the no pants. Oh my God!
He
What's
gave you a
happening?
whole
It's like you just
intro
had no
to
idea.
this whole ass crack. Like,
Yeah.
I
the
would've lost it when he
the
took the
slow
butt
walk
cheek
away.
out.
It wasn't just the ass crack; it was the spread
Wow.
Right up there.
Oh my God.
This is delicious, by the way.
Like this be the shit. I be thinking like it can't get that bad in the DMs. Like, does it really get this bad? They don't police those things at all. You know, like they quick to
blur
shut
the
some shit
image.
down on Instagram. Like they quick to, you know, regulate everything. They not regulating ass cracks and assholes in your DM.
It's like the image is blurred.
Okay.
So
And
at
they ask you
first,
like, do you want to see it?
when I first went, this was I don't know, whatever. You know, it was the video. It was the give me your tree trunk shit that everyone went crazy over. Everyone with a dick who wanted to share their dick. But listen, I got a couple apologies actually.
About sending dick pics?
Yeah.
What, do you say something after you get them? Like, you like,
I did a post that was something like, I don't know what I was talking about. I think I was talking about sexual trauma and how it's like, you know, how people are expressing sexual trauma in different ways, and like it's traumatizing to me to see all these dicks. I don't want to. But also, like, for some of the men that are doing it, they think that that's their only value. So they're sexually traumatized too, and so they're expressing themselves in that way. And I think that was the post that I put up. And then a couple of guys messaged me and were like, I'm really sorry if I offended you by sending you my dick. Like, I was like, yeah, one for the team. Like, that's one less dick pic someone's going to have to see.
An awkward ass apology.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, let me take that back. I'm sorry. Like,
But I was great.
Like,
I was grateful. This is the whole thing we're talking
That's the
about
best you're
around
gonna
like
get.
what I'm doing. It's pissing people off. There's multiple ways in which people are upset about what I'm doing, and it's like if people can take a minute, think about it, forgive me, forgive somebody. Like that's the only way we're gonna get through this hell ride we're on right now on the planet Earth is by forgiving each other. So, you know. I'm not clicking on the blurred images anymore. I've learned that.
So
the hard way.
you don't be like questioning, just wondering what's under that blurred image.
If I'm ovulating, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
As I mentioned earlier, I have 3 or 4 eggs left.
Oh
so.
my God. So you do have a son though, right?
I do, yeah.
You do have a son. That's right.
Yeah.
So when it comes to dating, are you dating?
No.
Is Mandy on the?
No, Mandy's on a dickless diet.
So all right. So now I'll speak for fellas, right?
Okay.
Because I think this is where men get like, they be crazy. I mean, they be acting crazy. Like if like when they get that feeling that you are a sexual being, that's when they go bananas. Like, oh shit, she likes sex. I want to give her sex, and they start trying to offer as much as possible. But
We have a lot to dissect with what you just said, but continue.
yeah, like
Because you don't have to be a sexual being for them to be like, I like sex. I want sex with that thing with legs. That's more.
what if you're just a female? You think they just start throwing it?
That's true.
Yeah,
I agree.
I always think it starts with like if they feel like you kind of open the door, like if
No,
you
no, no, no.
if you
Giving
crack
off
it,
that
if you
energy.
crack it, they bust it open.
No.
It's just period.
How many times a day does somebody like say something to you?
A lot.
Like every day that you leave your house.
Yeah.
Yes. Every day you leave your house, somebody says something. I just stopped leaving the house. I tried to.
Stop leaving the house.
I mean, I stopped dyeing my hair. Like I tried all the things, but it doesn't stop. It's getting better. It is getting better. I've noticed a change. Like definitely.
So it's like you can be sexual or you could choose to say provocative things in a sense, but that doesn't mean that you're on the prowl or looking for
I
people
like
to have
dick.
sex with.
I like dick. I don't like all dicks. I don't want them all right now. Like
Right.
no. I don't want more than one at a time. It's too many.
Yeah. See, I think they gotta hear that, 'cause I think some dudes don't know. Like, I feel like you see it every time. Like, if girls post, like, of course, I'm a man. I've been out here for a while. I'm a well seasoned. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of understand the game a little bit. I get it. I know what the do's and the don'ts are. So I think other dudes don't know. Like, if they see a girl shake her ass, they think like, I'm in there. This is an easy win.
Yeah.
And it's like most of the time, that's the hardest one to get. Like, you know what I mean? She got a ton of dudes throwing, you know what I mean? You know, throwing their hat in the ring. So it's not
there's
the best
so
way to
much
go.
to unpack. It's like I said earlier about my art, you know, I'm exploring what it means to be hyper feminine in a hyper masculine environment. That includes a hyper expression of sexuality. I'm also working out my own sexual trauma, having a child at 17, all kinds of crazy shit that happened to me throughout my life hip hop, like listening to hip hop. One of my favorite songs as a kid was "Anything Goes When It Comes to Hoes Because Pimpin' Ain't Easy." You know, like, I love that song. And like now I'm like, maybe that's why I have weird relationships with men. Like, we need to talk, Big Daddy Kane. You know, it's like fucked us up. And then there's this. I don't know if you guys saw this show, I May Destroy You. It's so good. Oh my god, you have to watch it. Michaela Cole. Is it on? HBO.
Okay.
She's a British writer, and she stars in it also. But it's about her getting assaulted and the process of like her processing that. And it's funny and irreverent and beautiful. And in the tagline on IMDb, it says something about the exploration of sexuality and the difference between sexual empowerment and sexual exploitation. And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, that was my 20s. Like, I believed this narrative that by being sexually empowered, sleeping with whomever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, was that. But actually, the payoff of that wasn't really for me. I kind of felt like I kept giving pieces of myself away. And ultimately, it felt like the guys were getting the empowerment. I was actually exploiting myself. So it's a narrative that I don't know is working to be sexually empowered. I don't want to say don't be like sexually empowered, but there's something wrong with this equation.
So it's about how to be sexually empowered the right way without being sexually exploited.
Yeah, it's about having conversations that aren't
Easy
gaslighting. You know, like you have to. Come on, you're an independent woman. I see you. I know you want to fuck, and like let's fuck. It's just fucking. It's actually not just fucking.
Right.
Like eventually you realize that your souls are you're swapping souls, yo. It's like you
exchanging energy.
It's
connect them.
Now I feel like it's a way that people come together to experience a deeper relationship with God. It's like the most spiritual thing that you can do with another human being, and we blow it off like it's a blow off. Like, I don't know, there's a joke there somewhere. You know, but then there's also fun sex with groups and parties and like things that you can do there where there's great communication and it can be a really fulfilling experience. And like, okay, here we go. Here goes all the boundaries. I had this experience with two people, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences that I've had because there was just a lot of communication happening where it was like, what do you need right now? Is this okay for you? No, you gotta wait until she, you know, she's ready for that and whatever. Like, it was just like conversation about what people's boundaries are. And I don't know, like part of what I'm doing in my music is like, let's fucking talk about it. Sex is funny. It's a massive part of who we are. Pretending that it's not is ridiculous. And let's fucking lighten up a little bit about it while at the same time recognizing that we as a generation have a very deep well of trauma around the way we've been giving our bodies away and exchanging. Yeah. And if we can start to see it as a spiritual experience, it doesn't mean we're gonna have less sex. It means we're gonna just walk into it consciously. It's the unconscious fucking that's causing all of the damage. That's my TED Talk.
That was deep. Definitely was deep.
I totally agree.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
I've had that conversation. Me and my brother, we've had conversations about like sex and how like crazy like it affects us in a lot of ways, and then we go out and like you said, and you end up having a whole lot of meaningless sex, not knowing like all those connections you create and all those exchanges you making and all the effects that it had on both parties. But I definitely think that like that experience you said you had, that's like they were fully aware of what sex is and how to truly go about it. And I think that that's when you really reach a different zone, like when you can really fully communicate even while in it. Because I think a lot of us, even though we cool with having sex, a lot of people still immature. So, and you could tell when you're in the middle of sex that this person is immature. If you can't talk or communicate or express what you want and how you want it, or if you got a guy and he's not pleasing you in this way and he can't take the thought of you critiquing him and telling him that this is the way you need to do it, so many people are not really even ready for those levels yet. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you can get to those points, you unlock a whole different level. And even period, in your relationship, if you are able to communicate in your relationship what you truly want sexually, in a sense, because I feel like so much of like the miscommunications or the unhappiness, at least for men a lot of times, it starts with sex in a sense. So if you could kind of get a understanding of what each other want there, a lot of shit will fix itself easily.
Well, I mean,
it comes into it. If you can communicate sexually, you communicate normally, like, you know.
Well, the sex should be a deepening of communication. It's a way you develop a communication in the talking, and then sex takes it to another level, a spiritual level. But the problem is we replace communication with sex. We use physical communication instead of other forms, and then that's why it falls apart sexually first, because you didn't develop the verbal communication. You didn't talk about things before. It's easy to just talk having sex when you do it all the time about everything anyway. But you know, it's like we gotta fuck after. If I don't know, you know, if you have a tree trunk, then clearly it's not going anywhere. So we gotta fuck after the third date. You know, and that's problematic. It's problematic because you don't know. I've been reading a lot about it because I was just dating someone and it kind of crashed and burned. And
this was recent?
Yeah. That's why I'm on a dickless diet now. And I was like, I think I might be a sex and love addict. Like, I think I might be. I know I'm an addict. I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in 5 years. Both my parents were alcoholics and didn't drink. Well, they both went through AA and went through programs. So there's a program in the world of 12-step programs called SLAA, SLAA, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. And a friend of mine sent me some pamphlets about it and was just like, you know, there's a form of that where you're an anorexic, where you're not having any sex or dating, which I swing between. I'm like, no, I don't want anybody. I won't go on the apps, and then ovulation, and then I'll go back again, and then I'm like, fuck this, and then, you know. So that's also what I used to do when I was drinking, is I would drink and then go off for 6 months and then drink again and be like, why am I depressed? Oh, because I think I'm allergic to alcohol. Like, I can't process the sugar. I'm like, I can't, you know. I figured it out eventually that that's what it was that was making me depressed. But with this, it's like your brain doesn't know the difference between heroin, sugar, alcohol, sex. It doesn't know the difference. It has the same dopamine response. It gets the
same response. Yeah.
But dopamine is the chemical that, like, if it's heroin, the dopamine levels are going to spike really high and crash really fast. With sex, they spike high, but they crash more slowly. Like a cold shower brings it up. They all have different levels, but so that's why different drugs are more dangerous, but your brain doesn't know the difference. So I was like, I'm addicted to this person. Like, this is interfering with my life. But I think what was happening right now in my life is that all of this stuff is going on with me being viral and getting famous or whatever's happening. And it was like a way to not stand in my light, to be like, let me hyperfixate on this person instead of actually facing this beautiful thing that's happening for me. So that's my concern. So I'm researching it. And one of the things that I saw was just like, you know, don't commit to somebody that you're going to be in an exclusive sexual relationship before you know that you're getting your needs met. Like, that it's a real thing,
you know, like they're really gonna attack all those areas, because
we build these fantasies like, oh, this person ticks all these boxes, so now I can stop looking and just, you know. But that's not the way to. It takes time. It just takes time.
Time is what it takes, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the only way to truly know if a person. I tell people, you gotta really put some time in.
Yeah.
You gotta go through some ups and downs and really see if that person is for you.
So in SLAA, they have a sober dating plan that you make, and they're like all over the internet. So you can look it up and find different people's sober dating plans, and it's like this list of basically, okay, the first month you do 20-minute phone call, then you do 40-minute the second week, and then you only have one date, and then you like.
It really map it
It's
up.
a map.
Yeah.
And then here are my deal breakers. Because when you take it slow, you see the red flags and you're not all entangled spiritually and chemically with the person, so you talk yourself out of them. When you're taking it slow, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
you're not gonna slide down the freaking wormhole again.
Yeah.
Like somebody messaged me the other day and he's like, great prospect. And I was like, I didn't say I was on a dickless diet, but I was like, well, take it slow. You know, you don't have to tell them everything all at once. Now I need a sober freaking podcast plan because I clearly have no boundaries. But I was just like, I'm taking a month off. Call me in July if you're still interested. But I'm not. I need time to just
Focus on you.
build my sober dating plan. Yeah.
So do you want to be dating? Like, do you want to find that person?
Yes, I want.
That's part of your goal?
Yes, I want to build.
More kids?
Nah, I don't know. I didn't think I did, but then the guy I was dating was younger, and I was like, well, if you want that, then I would figure it out. Yeah, like I said, I think I have 3 or 4 eggs in there. I'll put them in someone else's bodies. Like I'm doing, I love when you call me Big Mama. That $9.7 million freestyle or dollar. I wish. Oh my God.
Speaking into existence now.
Yes. But I always say, I see some ladies tonight who should be having my babies, like as surrogates. You know?
That's funny. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't know that I want to
Yeah.
carry it again.
You outside. You're a rapper now. You can't even, somebody gotta watch the baby for you.
I know.
Somebody gotta carry it.
Also,
You know
wouldn't it
what
be
I'm saying?
hilarious if I got pregnant? Like, people's minds are already exploding looking at me. They're just like, what the fuck? How old are you? Like, what's that? Imagine I was pregnant.
And
They wouldn't know what to do
yeah,
with you.
there we go.
They wouldn't know what to do with you.
Funny.
Oh my God.
Just for the joke. I do it for the joke.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, you just opened up a whole can of worms. We
Right
need
there.
a whole day to talk about relationships and sex and trauma. It's a whole lot there, but I didn't know they made like those type of plans. That's extravagant. So it's a whole lot that go into dating these days.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as it used to be. So
When
yeah, like back in the day, it just was not this deep. I guess because you weren't flooded with so many people so easily.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I mean? And look, man, you outside.
No, in the club I was.
Yeah, like that's when you see a plethora. But for men, it's different. Like we don't get a bunch of people like headed at us. It's like we normally going up. But for females, you might go outside or go to the club, hit the mall. But it's when you go out to these places. It's when you're getting dressed and you're looking good that you get bombarded.
Oh
by
no,
other
it's
people.
always. It doesn't matter.
It's just always.
Oh yeah.
You just don't turn it off.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's weird now because people recognize me, so I don't know what's going on. Like if they recognize me or like from a video or
How
are
do
they
you
looking at me?
handle that too?
I'm getting better at it. Yeah, at first I was. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
How would if they approached you? How would you take it?
Well, now I'm like, what's your name? Because I learned from a friend of mine who's famous. He's like, the more deeply you look into their eyes and engage with them, the faster they go away. I know that I want them to go away, but I want them to realize they're having an exchange with a human being.
Yeah,
so I'm
so they
like,
can't
what's
treat
your
you like
name?
you're just this
Are
thing
you an
off on it.
artist? What's your deal? Then when they talk, then they're like, oh yeah, and then they're like, cool, nice to meet you.
Have
They
a good
realize
day.
something's
Yeah.
going on. But what's like cool is other artists. So when I go to a show or something, like, it's other artists coming up to me and being like, I see you. I know that you're an artist. Like, that means a lot to me because, people see one video and they're like, oh, she's joking. Or, I mean, yes, I am funny, but I'm not joking.
It's for real.
Like
and you take it seriously.
It comes out funny because I have a funny, stupid face that does stupid things. Like that's part of it, And also, everything has got to be funny, or we're in trouble. Like,
Facts.
Can't be too serious.
yeah.
Like
So,
Joker said,
and
"Why you
sometimes
so
it is.
serious?"
Sometimes it isn't. Like sometimes, like I love covering "Renegade." It's one of my favorite songs. The Jay-Z Eminem
That Jim said
track.
hard.
Yeah. And like times I do it and I just cry. Cause it's so fucking good and honest, and Jay's verses especially are so honest, and people are like, you rap that shit like you lived it, like, you know. And I'm like, well, I feel like I did. Like,
yeah, you feel it. That's how music affects you.
I mean, I grew up on welfare. I had a baby at 17. I didn't, you know, I lived in Canada, so I could still go to school and go to college and do all those things because of the support system I had. It's not the same because the country I'm in is a privileged place.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I didn't feel the things I felt, you know, about what that life was like. My father sold drugs. He was in like a motorcycle gang. Like, he was in that life too. So that resonates with me.
He's part of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he had a mustache, so.
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy, that was my shit.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
never watched it.
classic.
Never watched it?
No.
Oh my God.
But I remember, like, my dad was hung out with the mafia too, and I would go to like the mafia kids' birthday parties and shit. Like, it was like,
Damn.
soup's weird.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now I see the Mandy Mahem part.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope, man. So yeah, you had a colorful life.
Did you read a book called The Artist's Way?
Yes, ma'am.
How did that book impact you?
It changed my life for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I was working in an art gallery, and there was an artist there. It was actually a year after my dad had passed. And when he passed, he left me some money, and I went and wandered around Europe for a while trying to sort of figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I had the cheerleading company before that, and it exploded disastrously in 2008 with the work I was doing in China. And this artist that I was working with at the gallery said to me, "You're a blocked artist. You need to read this book." And a blocked artist is somebody oftentimes who works with, not always, but who works with artists, like as an agent or a manager or whatever, that has a desire to write or act or sing, paint, but is too afraid to do it. So they work adjacent to the field as opposed to right in it. And that's what she was saying that I was doing. And what happens is when you're a very creative person, and you're not getting to express fully as much as you want to creatively, that creative energy turns on you and starts to create drama in your life instead of in some art. And that's what she was like pointing out for me. And that's what I learned from the Artist's Way, was like, I have to create. It doesn't matter what it is. And each week, it's a 12-step program. Each week is a different sort of block that artists have: money, family, failure, I'll not be good enough, you know, the things that we tell ourselves. And so I've done the course 4 times at this point. Part of it is writing these morning pages every day, which is 3 pages of stream of consciousness. I've been doing that for 10 years, writing every morning.
Of what? I'm sorry.
Stream of consciousness. Just blah, 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 blah,
Just
blah,
whatever
whatever.
comes to your mind.
Oh, I need to pick up milk. I'm having an existential crisis. I think I'm going to talk about my vagina, whatever. Like, whatever, just let it come out.
Let it flow right
Yeah,
out.
whereas I used to journal, and that was like, I would journal, but I would be like, oh, I'm like Jane Eyre or somebody, like someone's going to read my journal someday, so it has to be beautiful and poetic. But with these morning pages, you're just blahing it out. And what that does is, you know, when you sit down to get into flow to create, it takes some time before you actually get into flow, unless you take my mind enhancer inhaler, obviously. But it takes some time to get into flow. Like, you need a warm-up. And that's what those pages are. They're a warm-up to help you get all the anxiety out of your head and then get into the thing that you actually want to create. And so when you do it in the morning, the rest of the day opens up for you, like as though you're in flow for the whole day.
Right.
And when I started doing these pages within the first week, because you do them first thing in the morning when you wake up, like literally before you do anything else. And so I was remembering my dreams. And I had this dream where I was walking through all these different ideas that I had had for the next business I wanted to start, because my cheerleading business had fallen apart. I wanted to do a clothing label, start an art gallery, work for a condo developer, and I walked through each stage of my dream. It was almost like Goldilocks. Like, I'd go into a thing and be like, no, this isn't working for me.
Right.
No, this is. And then I walked through this door, and I was on Saturday Night Live on stage. with a bowl of soup in my hand because I don't cook. Soup is all I make. And I was holding it like this, and the audience was cheering. And I remember thinking, don't receive their applause. And then I took the soup spoon and I held it up to the audience, and they cheered louder. And then I ate it. And it was like I was feeding them and they were feeding me. It was like this beautiful metaphor. Mm. And then I went backstage and I was like, okay, I'm on SNL. What am I wearing? Most importantly. Wow. And I go over to the wardrobe department and he shows me this picture of a woman in a 1940s gown. And I was like, yes, darling, this is my fate. And then he hands me a wife beater and cutoff shorts. Can you say wife beater anymore? Probably not. A tank top and cutoff shorts. And I'm like, oh, everyone is wearing this beautiful dress and I'm wearing that. Okay, fine. I'll be the butt of the joke. I love that. Give me that job. So I put on my outfit. I sit down, and then there's these two girls on the other side of me that look like Broadway actors. You know what Broadway actors look like? Long brown hair, big eyes. You know. So they're like sitting there looking over my shoulder trying to read the script, and I can't read it, and I'm trying to I'm like I don't know how am I going to do this. And this is the competition. These younger women who look the part, and I'm like, I can't compete with this. I was 35 when I started acting. Right. I can't compete with this. And then I just had this moment in the dream where I closed the book, I handed it to the girls, and I said, it doesn't matter, just get me on stage and I'll be fine. And then I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm a fucking actor. Wow. I need to be on stage. And that was like day 3 of this book. Wow. And then I went to a class at Second City that night and started studying improv, and then just that was it.
And the wind blew up from there.
I was already doing hip hop karaoke at that point, so I was like, I know, and I had cheered for so long, and I did theater as a kid and all that, so it didn't come from nowhere, but it was.
So you got a nice little base, but that points you in a very direct direction.
Yeah, but my life had to crumble to the ground for me to do that. And then it had to crumble to the ground. I got cervical cancer, and then I wrote my first album. It had to crumble to the ground for me to be brave enough to write the first album. To be like, you might die. What's the one thing you want to do? I want to rap. Okay, go write a fucking album. So I did. Wow. And then I had this situation, this surgery last year, where they thought it was cancer again. It turned out it was some like birth defect that only children get, and because I'm Benjamin Button, it like showed up in me. My wisdom teeth came in at the same time. Like, I don't know what's happening. I'm literally aging in reverse. Yeah. So this happened again, and it was my throat chakra. It's my throat. It's like your voice. Are you listening? If you don't fucking use your voice, you're not gonna have it. And so then the retirement home commercial happened, and the fucking I have all these projects I've written that I've been trying to get off the ground for years that just haven't been going anywhere. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. So that morning, November 1st, before I got on my first live, I prayed and I said, just show me a clear path. Not to fame, fortune, music career, acting, whatever. I was like, you deal with the logistic. I don't even know anymore. You know me better than I do. I've been trying to strategize. I'm the queen of fucking strategy. People pay me to strategize their careers for them, and I can't make it work. I'm broke. And the retirement home? Come on. I'm not ready. And then I was doing the laundry, and God spoke to me. And he said, you want a fucking clear path? It's right in front of you. God swears at me. We have that kind of relationship. It was like this agency had reached out to me and said, we're gonna help. TikTok wants to support new creators on live. They'll boost your stuff. We think your rapping would do really well on there. And then Instagram had messaged me the same day and said, or that week, and said, they were doing the Reels bonuses. We'll pay you for Reels. I was like, people are trying to build things on social media, and I have been resisting it because I didn't want to be exploited anymore. I'm sick of working for free as an artist. I hate that we're all carrying the load for these big. I'm so glad everyone's on strike and support the WGA and SAG, who's about to go strike. And so I was like, I don't want to do it. But then I just felt like that Janis Joplin song, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. I don't know. I'm at the end of my rope again. And I don't want to keep getting sick because I'm not listening to my body. My body was just like, go where the joy is. And it turns out the joy is in my living room, in front of my bookcase, with a neon vagina behind my head, doing Jay-Z covers. I don't know.
And that's where it started.
That's where it started.
And you found your happy place.
Yeah, man.
Happy. Yeah.
That's so wild.
And then
Your story, bro. That's crazy.
That's dope.
It really show you though, like you could really find your path at any given moment. Like so many of us get caught up in trying to find a way right now. You know what I mean? Like I wake up every day still, even though I feel like I'm in my purpose, I feel like I'm in what I'm supposed to be doing. But it's like because we live in a society where there's so much instant gratification, and then you got so many things, so many things around you, people acquiring things around you. So when you're not acquiring these things or getting that instant gratification in some type of fashion, you know, you feel like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? You just wonder. So it's just like, if you just take the time, listen to the universe, listen to God, whoever you may listen to, you might find the answers. And it's just so crazy. And then the thing is, you always have time. We be killing ourselves with trying to do everything right now. Take your time and breathe. Relax and just figure it out. Let it flow to you. But I like that thing you were saying about the stream of things, because my mind runs at a mile a minute, and I feel like I'm always bombarded with thoughts. Even when I'm trying to get shit done, it's constant. Like I feel like when I sleep, I don't really sleep. I'm still thinking.
I believe you.
I'll wake up out of a thought. You know what I mean? I feel like I may have slept at some point, but whole time I was thinking.
I've been working on that a lot.
That shit is crazy.
Stopping the mental chatter.
Yeah.
Because it's not serving me. Like, so I study A Course in Miracles, and every day there's a different lesson in this book. And there's one that I've been kind of fixated on, which is I will not hurt myself again today. And I've been using that for all kinds of things. So in a negotiation with a new brand that I'm working with, they offered me one amount and I wanted 5 times that. And I kept saying, I'm not going to devalue. That's hurting myself.
When you settle for anything less.
Yeah, it's not even like, you know, you got to ask for twice, you got to ask for, it's like we have all these tools, but the bottom line is the bottom line. What is my bottom line? How much will I hurt myself? Who will I sleep with? Who will I have these business relationships with that don't you can't teach someone to value what they don't value. So I find myself in these relationships with brands or whatever, and they don't value what I'm giving them. I'm never going to convince them of that. A relationship that I'm in with a partner, if he doesn't value me, I can't teach him that. It's not in there already, you know? So just constantly saying to myself, I will not hurt myself again today, is helping me to interrupt the patterns. So when I think about the breakup and I'm fixating on it, I know it's not, like there's sadness and I care, but it's not that heavy. I'm trying to avoid the moment. The mental chatter is to get me out of the moment, because the moment is where the answers are. The moment is where we create. You can't make art in the future. When you're trying to make art and you're thinking about how is this going to land on Instagram or am I going to get enough people in my live, it's not going to work. You have to be in the moment. So when I'm on, hi guys, when I'm on TikTok and these comments are scrolling and they're calling me names and saying things, and then there's beautiful things happening, but a lot of shitty things, and I see this number in the top corner that says how many people are in the room. There were times the first video of me that went viral, which was the Jay-Z, You Don't Know. There was 7,000 people in the room watching me when I was doing that first. And so I fucked up a line, okay? Like, I'm still upset about it, that there's been 20 million views on that video all over the place, and I know the lyrics, okay? But there was so many people in the room, right? So it's like, and this is the other thing I learned about my hair when I went through the process, am I looking at them or am I being looked at? Am I walking in the room thinking about how the room sees me, or am I walking in the room and looking at each person and seeing them? It's a very different way to experience the world. And when you're a beautiful woman and you walk into a room and there's this on you, you don't feel safe. You learn that you have to be a certain way in order to be physically safe. Men have this in a different way, but for women, it's always about, am I physically safe? It's subconscious at this point, but you learn this over time. So you have to self-surveillance. Like you have a camera on yourself all the time. Is my hair okay? When you see this in beautiful women, it's because it's a safety issue that turns into a hyperfixation on how you look. That becomes this self-surveillance, and now we have a camera in our face the whole time, right? I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, but
you're talking about if they looking at you or you looking at them.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were
making
talking
your
about
art, the lives.
Your approach
Thank you.
to going into looking at them.
Yeah, so now I've got this number in the top corner. When I try to be cool and do what I think they want, the number goes. And when I'm like, fuck you guys, I am going to pull out a puppet and he is going to do Rakim's verse on The Watcher right now. And I'm going to have fun. The room goes. It's this constant conversation with the divine of like, what is my creative impulse? It's like a jump shot for creative work being on this live, if you use it in such a way, to fight against the impulse to self-surveil and to make art for the purpose of what these other people want you to be doing. It's very hard, but at this point, I'm 6 months in. I don't even know how many hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours I've been on there performing. And I'm developing this very tough skin around what's coming at me in terms of, I still cry, like it still happens. But more than anything, and most importantly, I'm strengthening my relationship with creative energy and knowing which voice is which. Because at first you don't know, is this inspiration or is this ego? Is this what my mom said to me when I was a kid? You got to discern which voice is which. So that takes practice, just like a jump shot. So you
figure it out.
Yeah, so this is a space where I can practice that.
You just dropped a fucking bomb. I don't even think they get it. That shit just
They
unlocked
will.
a whole lot of shit. It's like if you're a creative and you listen to that should have definitely put you on a path. Because I
I hope so.
you did that.
I feel like that's part of my purpose.
Yeah, you
Like,
did
yeah,
that.
I'm rapping, it's fun. I'm fucking enjoying myself.
Right.
But what I'm seeing out here is conversations that need to happen
Facts.
around aging, around race, around music, around women, sexuality. They need to happen. I'm like the catalyst, but it's not about me. It's shit that needs to be
About
talked about.
everybody, about the world, about the universe.
Yeah.
That's a fact. You did that. I'm so appreciative for that. With that, we definitely gonna have to wrap this up because it don't get no better than that. So get them a real quick thing, rundown about everything you got coming up and everything like that.
Okay. I'm doing a show in Philly tomorrow night. I don't know if this is going to get to you before that happens, but if it does, please come. It's at Kung Fu Necktie. I don't even know how, it's a long story how I ended up here, and I've talked way too much, but Keith Shockley is opening for me from the legendary Public Enemy. Hank and Keith are brothers, and they produced so much of Public Enemy's work, and also the Bomb Squad, Belle Biv DeVoe, come on.
Legends.
I know, someone put in a comment, shouldn't you be opening for him? Yes, I should, but that's not how it's going down. He was kind enough to come out and open, and I also have La Phantom opening, my girl Summer Rona, she's written a rap to introduce me. She's amazing. So I'm really excited about the show, and then after that, I'm going to be in New York for a couple days. I'm going to the Roots Picnic to just hang out and try to make friends with people. Try to get on somebody's tour.
Yeah, hopefully you might see me out at the Roots Picnic too. We might try to slide out there.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That'd be dope.
And am I seeing you at my show?
Tomorrow, let me know the time.
7.
7?
I'll be on later than 7, but it ends at 11. So you can still go out and do other things.
I'll come 8 o'clock.
Yeah, please come. It's going to be epic. I'm not even kidding. I'm really entertaining on stage.
We gonna watch.
Yes.
Drop some footage for you on our channel and everything.
Amazing.
They keep up with everything.
I'm so happy to be seeing people. Plus, I keep getting kicked off TikTok and Instagram for being inappropriate. I don't know how.
It's just so crazy, right? Yeah. But how can you be inappropriate with the shit that they do on these apps? It's crazy.
And they be in your comments saying the worst stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't get blocked, kicked off at all.
If I say it out loud, then I'm bands.
It's all about when you're having progress, man. I feel like if it got progress in it, they don't like to see it, and they find ways to shut it down. When it's negative shit, I see negative shit nonstop, and I hate negative shit.
Yeah,
like I don't want to see people getting shot, robbed, beat up, nothing. But I constantly see it.
Same.
Don't even know how. I skip some. Oh
yeah,
man,
I know.
Yeah, it's wild. But let the people know how to follow you.
Oh yes.
Where to follow you.
So it's quite confusing, but if you find me on Instagram, Amanda Merhead. Long story also, obviously, because everything with me is a long story. And on TikTok, it's Ms. Mandy May Cheatham, which is very complicated also. But if you find yourself on one of those platforms, you can click my bio. You can find the YouTubes. You can find, I have videos going back years. I mean, I existed before you found me, if you can believe it. And then also check out my new brand partner that I'm working with, which is a nootropics company. So they are, they've figured out a way to deliver ATP, which is the energy molecule that all of your cells need, directly to your brain.
Wow. To
the mitochondria in your brain. This has not been done before. Normally it has to process through your liver, through food that you eat, and if it's a supplement, people are taking it intravenously, or they're eating supplements, but they're wrapped in fats, so they're getting processed. And I have poor digestion, so I don't process vitamins and minerals very well. But this is delivering it to my brain directly, eliminating brain fog. Brain fog? Yeah, and helping me focus and stay in flow, just like what we were talking about. So It's a natural, there's no drugs in it. It's a natural form of like an Adderall or an energy drink that is not spiking your dopamine in an unhealthy way.
Right.
It doesn't even have anything to do with dopamine. It's just directly energy. It's also reducing inflammation. So anyway, check out the link in my bio for that. And all the things, I don't know, check my bio, yo.
Check her bio, yo. Listen, please do tap in. Mandy is so much more than provocative rap, so I tell you that. I really
Energy
appreciate
is amazing.
Yeah, everything about you has been great. Yes. You are a book. Multiple chapters and layers. So I like that. That's good to have. I appreciate you. You really opened my eyes up to a lot of things. Sure. Got some work to do.
We all do.
Listen, I really appreciate you coming. I hope you enjoyed the food.
Oh, I'm so... I just feel very grateful. Feel very honored to be here and welcomed into this home, and getting to be fed is like, you know.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And Philly, just in general, like has been. It's the one city on both my apps and my followings that is like shows up. Like Philly's like my number 2 city on TikTok and number 2 on Instagram. It's like right after New York. It's, you know.
It's here.
There's something here. I mean, there's a reason why I love Jill Scott and Music Soul Child, and like I've just always felt this. It's a music city, I come from a music city, and period. Yeah. So I'm like, if I'm gonna throw myself on the fire,
this is where to do it.
This is where I'm gonna do it.
Definitely, because if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Here's hoping.
Listen, man, make sure y'all tap in with Mandy. This is your boy Smooth.
It's your girl Amber Grand.
This is Cooking Up 215. Let's go.
He was like horrified. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what does that feel like?
Are you comfortable cutting through somebody? You know that they say the layers are thick.
Yes.
First of all, let's start with the fact that it's like this fucking thick before the.
It must be a rush. It must be a rush.
It gotta be.
Come on.
It gotta be.
He was acting all like, part of my job.
What y'all ready? 2 seconds.
I'm so excited to eat. Look at my body posture compared to earlier. It smells so good.
I warmed it up. I think it was warming it up. I ain't make nothing.
Mariah.
Okay, we're queuing.
Every time.
Hey,
Mariah.
I'm gonna just turn it over because I got a lot of emergency bypasses going on.
Gotcha. You a doctor or
something like that?
Okay.
How does it feel to slit someone's throat?
Okay.
Y'all need y'all veggies.
I'm not that type of doctor.
Y'all veggies clean. She cleans the veggies.
I do body wax and body piercing.
Oh.
I remember sitting not having them.
She do Bee stings.
Bee sting, you only facials, everything.
I just got the first wax in a long time.
The first one is the worst one.
In a long time. The very first one I ever had. Are you guys ready for this story?
Yeah.
Because this is the story.
Oh, we gotta get on camera.
So I was in the south of France with an ex-bishop from the Mormon church
Oh shit.
who had just excommunicated himself and left his like 15 children behind and was exploring the world. And I was like, let's go to Monte Carlo. And he had been with the same woman basically his entire life. And they had 15 children or whatever it was. And we went on this tour of the south of France, and we were going to have sex. And he had, I guess, taken some lessons from a lady who teaches you how to have sex and what have you. And we get to this hotel room in this winery, and he's putting candles all around the bathtub and pouring me a bath and all this shit. And I'm like, you don't have to go to all this trouble. It's fine. We're not going to fall in love. We're not going to hold hands. This is not that kind of deal. But we can fuck, and I'll teach you how to do that. You know, this is something else that you're doing. It's fine. It's cool. I'm into it. So anyway, I was like, you know, it would be fun if I got a wax. Because I'd never had one, and also I don't know, I was like figuring out how to have a sugar daddy, like you get them to buy you stuff. I don't know, so I was like, take me to a wax place in like the south of France or whatever. So I go into this wax parlor and no one speaks English, and I've never had anything done, so the hair is like that long.
And you couldn't communicate.
No, couldn't communicate. And I'm not sure that she had ever removed that much hair before in her life, so it was like there was no trimming, pre-trim. It was just sheer pain for I don't know how long. My whole body was sweating. I was like pools of sweat.
Fuck with your nerves.
And then after that, I broke out into this horrifying rash. So I showed him.
Well, if you ever decide to go back,
Because I just let it grow. That was what was
I'm
happening.
just telling you.
You had dreads down there.
Yeah.
You can braid that shit. But listen, see, I was curling it up. That's curling it up. But
She knows.
I mean, it's like a jungle.
but the next time,
Like a jungle
all you
time.
need is about, I swear to God, a quarter. You can get the scissors with a comb
Yeah.
and cut it at the comb.
Yeah.
And then get it done.
Well, I mean,
So,
this,
cause that don't hurt, because the hair when the wax is laying the hair down.
I
it's
know.
gonna hurt 10 times more.
I know.
Can you reach in the freezer and grab me that juice?
I had another
I can't
friend.
believe that though. That's amazing.
I had another friend who tried to do it herself, and this was a long time ago, mind you. I haven't done that since but I had a friend who tried to do it herself. She just slathered her whole self with wax and then let it sit. And then fell asleep because she was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna sleep now. I don't know why she fell asleep. And then she woke up and she couldn't move because everything was like in the position that she was sleeping, and she tried to move and it just pulled every single little hair. So she went to the doctor, like walking like this,
All they can do is pull it
to
over.
get them to try and snip it off.
She tried to let it dry. She fell
Jesus
asleep.
Christ, because if it gets too dry, the skin,
Yeah.
not just the hair.
She was like, I'm never doing that again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How would she fall asleep with wax on it?
Why would she fall asleep? Why would she put it all over her whole
Yeah, the
self?
whole, that's no.
She didn't read the instructions.
At all. At all.